What up, YouTube? So it's been almost a full year since I posted my review on the Nike Adapt Auto Max. Today I'm going to tell you what it's been like owning this wearable tech for all these months. I'll talk about the pros, the cons, and the annoying inconveniences that come with owning these. But before I do, I ask that you please give a thumbs up if you're feeling the content, and please subscribe if you'd like to see more. Okay, let's get started. I picked these two pairs up in November of 2020. I bought both pairs on StockX for less than retail. If you want to see my full in-depth review of these, I'll put a link to that video in the description below and add a link at the end of this video. For starters, I'm aware these are not the prettiest shoes, but more people than I thought have told me they're ugly over the past year. It doesn't bother me because I like gadgets and tech, and these are right up my alley. And despite the looks, there's just something fun about owning them. When I got these, I immediately started wearing them, and I noticed a bunch of quirks I never experienced with any other shoes I've owned. They're very comfortable, but the first thing I noticed was I had to adjust my walking to accommodate that large heel. Within the first hour of wearing the Fireberries, I scraped them walking down my stairs, and on that same day I banged them into a display case at the store and left a white scratch. It was frustrating, but I used a black Sharpie to cover it up, and since then I'm more cautious now when I wear them. These look so big and chunky online, I went half size down when I ordered them. That was a pretty good move because these fit me perfectly. It's a snug sock-like fit with a very cushiony sole, but ironically, because of the fit, I never had any need to use the motors to tighten them, and I only wear them on their release setting. Over this past year, the only time I've ever tightened them using the app was when I'm just showing people how they work. Other than that, I never use the adjustment feature. This is pretty ironic considering the self-lacing is the whole point of this shoe and the reason I was drawn to Adapt Tech in the first place. The Siri talking instructions feature is also interesting, but again, something I never use. I said it in my first review that these are a novelty piece, and they really are. Another thing I instantly noticed, specifically on the infrared pair, was the outsoles will immediately start to turn black the very first time you wear them. Not only did the outsole dirty really fast, but due to the shape of the outsole, all my contact with the ground was near the outer part, which made it much more noticeable on foot. I like my kicks clean, and after a bunch of wears, I got tired of scrubbing these down, so I decided to try some sole protectors I found online. They're a little slippery, but overall they've been working out pretty good. However, it's pretty lame that I had to pay an additional $25 to keep these fresh. Now let's talk about the battery. In my last video, I had concerns about the charging and the battery's ability to hold a charge. I'm happy to report that so far these do a great job of holding a charge. Sometimes I'll leave them on the shelf for weeks, and when I go to put them on, they still have a good charge. Hopefully that'll be the case a few more years from now. One thing I never do is just leave them on the charger for longer than 2 hours at a time for fear of wearing down the battery. Also, the charging pad sometimes makes a really light humming noise, which concerns me, so I make it a habit to always unplug it when it's not in use. I also noticed something kind of interesting. They recently added a gesture control feature that allows you to quickly release your laces by simply tapping your heel onto the medial side of the opposite foot. I haven't tried this yet myself, but it's cool to see they're still exploring this tech. More on the battery. I had a weird problem once where one of them died and I couldn't sync the other sneaker because of it. I always give these an equal amount of charge, so I'm not sure how one died so much faster than the other. Regarding the lights on the side, if I'm being honest, I don't use them very often either, but they are fun in specific situations. You won't catch me walking around my local grocery store with the light show on my feet. To each their own, but I would feel weird doing that, and it would remind me of those little kids that wear the light-up Skechers. But if I'm at a party with friends, a fun event, or a celebration of some type, it works and it gives off a festive vibe. It's clearly a stupid problem to have, but I just play it by ear which situations make sense and which ones don't. Moving on to the app, I noticed times when the app wouldn't connect and I had to delete the pair out of the app, take the kicks off, and go through the whole resyncing process all over again. It's happened a few times and it's pretty annoying. Nike's development team has pushed several updates since I purchased these, but more recently they added this new light feature category and this new graphic menu where you can pick from a preset series of different color schemes and display patterns. It's kind of cool, but if I'm keeping it real, all these multiple categories are not that different from each other, and this interface update makes the app navigation more confusing and less user-friendly than its predecessor. It's just two blinking lights, so there are only so many colors and patterns you can work with. When it comes to the interface, my feeling is it's best to keep it simple. Regardless, beside the whole having to delete and resync every once in a while issue, this app has been pretty good. Now let's talk about the durability of these silky uppers. The black ones have obviously held up fine with no noticeable issues, but I have had a few spills with the infrared pair. If you're not careful, that light gray material will get stained and dirty pretty easily, but overall it's pretty durable. I've scrubbed down these uppers multiple times so far, and every time they come back looking new again, so I can't be mad at that. Overall, this material has been pretty durable and I like it. You just have to be a little extra careful not to get water on the buttons when cleaning them. As I mentioned before, comfort has been great. The thick heel, React sole, and fabric upper work really well together. I could stand or walk in these all day with no problem. After wearing these a lot, another petty observation I made has to do with the tongue. I like this tongue, and overall I think it looks good, but if you're like me and you like to pop the tongue, you will notice this one is fixed in place and it's a bit small small, resulting in your pants and even tapered sweats covering the tongue sometimes after a bit of walking. All that aside, I still think they're a cool sneaker for anyone who likes Air Max style kicks, interesting tech, and comfortable shoes. I've enjoyed wearing them for a year. They're certainly not practical, and as stupid as it sounds for a sneaker, they do require a bit of thought and preparation before wearing. But if you could look past all that, they're fun, interesting, comfortable, and depending on the colorway, more durable than you would think. Also, as much as I dogged the overkill of the packaging in my first vid, I have to admit, these are the only kicks I own where I love seeing the boxes on display in my closet. Seeing them just reminds me of when I was a kid, and it's kind of cool. So in conclusion, despite the maintenance, preparation, and frustrations that come with owning these, I still like them, and after a year of ownership, I don't regret buying them. Let me know in the comments what you think of these. Do you own them? And if so, what has your experience been with them? Anyway, that's my video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, please subscribe, and please ring that notification bell to be notified for my next video. I would appreciate it, and it would definitely help the channel. Also, feel free to check me out on Instagram at E21Life for other random pics and content. Here's a few more shots. I really appreciate y'all watching, and until next time, stay safe, everyone. Peace.